All right. Today is a little different. Today I'm having a session with Mike, who's somewhere in England, and probably not as good weather as we have here. But I'm going to be giving some demonstrations talking about balance and doing some basic things. All right, Mike?
Okay.
All right. Now, have you been in the gym a little bit lately?
Yes.
Does your gym have one of these guys? These plyo blocks?
No.
Are you sure? Really?
I'm not sure, but I haven't noticed.
Most gyms are getting these now. These are blocks you can jump up on, and you won't get too hurt if you miss, although you can get hurt. I'll demonstrate how some of this stuff works, okay? So
Yeah.
first, we've been working on your block is about as high as mine, right? Maybe 8 or 10
About the
inches.
same. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And we've been working a bit on this. And we know that you don't have to try to touch your tippy toes like that. We can bend our knees, and that gives us more of a stretch, right? And so this is roughly what you're doing now, I assume.
It
Something
is. Yeah.
like this, okay? And you want to go up and down on the same foot, whoops, and try to stay balanced. Balance is my big issue, like this, okay? And with my right foot, it's easier. Now, another thing you can do from there is you can go on the side, and then you want to go down and then along, touch your heel and up, down, along, heel and up, heel and up, okay? The idea is that eventually you want to be able to do this kind of a dip like that with your hand, with your foot up. And if you can go all the way down, with your foot up and then come back up, I forget what that's called, but that's a fantastic thing to be able to do for the rest of your life. So if you can do it now, try to keep that up. But for me, and probably for you too, we'll just work on it at this level, like that, okay, until we get to the next level. Now, you can see me all the way back here, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
Thing we can do is this move here, up and hold, and then down and lunge, touch the knee. This is a balance exercise. Touch the knee. And try to hold and have good control. Okay? And I'll put this video so you can see it. Then when we want to go from here to here, there's no way, that's just too big, right? So I'm going to use this principle over several different times. The way to be able to get strong enough to do that is to add weight. So when we have a lunge, up and down, slow and controlled. And the more weight we add, the more we should be able to do it at a higher height later. And then we can do a plyo move where we jump and land and stick it. And with or without weight, the goal of this is to land and stick it. And it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing my less balanced leg. It's easier on this leg. And with weights, you got to know how to manage the weights. better. So this is a tricky balance thing to work on, and that will improve your skills and your ability to do small things, make small adjustments and stay balanced. Okay?
And what weight are you holding?
10 in each hand.
Yeah.
And then you go up. So you build up. Now you can't. Oh, I'll show you. I've been working on jumping high jump as high as I can, and I'll show you how I've learned to do that now that I'm a little out of breath. Then once you do that enough, you can start going up. Now up here, I assume you can see all this. Is my head cut off?
It is a bit, yeah.
That's all right. You can also use this just for lateral. So when you do this kind of holding, you want to use just the back of the hand, not grabbing. And then down and up. You see how I drop a little bit at the end? But that's okay. I'm still getting the value out of that workout. I'm still working toward my goal. And then I can cheat a little bit and kind of hug the side as I go down and up. This is after 5 months of this, so not something I could have done a few months ago. You see, I'm not ready yet to touch my heel. I'm not there yet. So the idea is that you want to keep pushing past your boundaries and cheat if you have to. So here I'll touch my heel. And then I have to hop up, but that's okay. Here I have a little more control. But by going past your boundaries, you're always forcing yourself to work harder. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now the next thing here is jump. This is a 50 centimeter, and I'm pretty comfortable with this height. Jumping up. There are two ways to do this. You want to do both, a hard landing and a soft landing. The hard landing is for your bones. The soft landing is for your small muscle and balance control. So the hard landing would look like this, and hard landing down. That's to put shock through your legs, which helps give a stimulus to your bones and your hips. So you want to land pretty hard. And then the next one is soft, quiet landing. And that helps you with your balance and your fine motor. So like a cat. Got that?
Yep.
Then you want to work on doing it higher. I'm not prepared to do it higher. I've done it higher, but it's a little dangerous for me. And the way to get from here to there, again, is to make it harder. Now, these actually help a lot because they give you momentum to go up. These make it easier. But if you just keep them with you, that will help build your jumping strength so that you can add more weight and go up to 10 pounds. It's hard, but it's safer. And you do that a bunch, and you're ready to try this without weight, which I'm sure I can do. Because I've been practicing.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I could not do that. And I'm tired. But
Yeah.
you get the idea. There's a guy on YouTube who's in his 70s who can jump higher than this and land it. And I would like to do that in about 6 months. But that's one of those 20 decathlon activities that if we can build up to it and maintain it, we're going to live a lot longer. I'll share his channel with you. I forget the name of it, but his goal is to live to be 120. And he can do some pretty amazing things in his 70s. Now, I got to back up a little bit and show you the high jump. I like the high jump a lot. For starters, you don't have to worry about landing on a box. And trust me, if you miss landing on a box, you're going to hurt your shins. If you miss landing on a box, this is where you're going to get it, and it's going to hurt. And people who work on box jumping wear shin guards for a good reason. Yeah. See what we got here. You can almost, yeah, you can see the whole thing. All right. Okay, so I will explain where my journey so far. I started at the beginning of January, so 2 months ago. And my highest jump, jumping as high as I can from a standing start, I was able on the third bar to just touch it. I mean, I could just feel it with the tips of my middle fingers at the bottom of the bar. And now it's going to happen very quickly, but you'll see that I'm on top of the bar now. And my goal in 3 or 4 months is to grab the bar. And I'll show you, I'm going to show you how you go. I mean, I've gotten at least an inch in 8 weeks. And I'm going to show you how I did that. But first I'll demonstrate. I can't grab the bar yet, but I can clear the top of it. And by the way, I can't look up and do it. I have to just look straight and know it's there. So the top of the bar was here.
Yes.
So that's maybe 2 inches in 8 weeks. And the way I do it, and everybody out there on YouTube land, you can too. Is with this thing. I'm up to 35 pounds. I started at 20. 35 pounds, I do 10. You want to keep it right on your hips. You don't want to throw it. Okay. Oh, that's 35 pounds. And probably when I get up to about 45 pounds like that, I will then be able to grab the bar. So that's how you build height, is by doing those. Start with 20 and work your way up. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
A little difficult, but that's how you make progress. Now, I'm going to show a couple things at this level here. Gotta go. Here I have three yoga mats together for a reason. Is this going to? There's. I think this should work. Yeah. All right. So. Okay. The first thing is sit-ups. Most people don't do sit-ups right. Sit-ups never involve this angle changing. That is hip abductors, and they are not abs. So there's lots of these crunches and things where a lot of people doing this stuff, really nothing to do with your stomach muscles. The only real sit-up has two parts. One is that the lower back and the glutes stay on the ground, and the shoulders go toward the thigh or the knees. Okay, and there's nothing to do with putting your hands, throwing your hands. Your shoulders should be down, and this is the upper abs here, and then the lower abs. Keep in mind, this angle doesn't change. It doesn't matter where this angle is. It doesn't change. So what you're doing is lifting here, right in here. You're driving your hips toward your shoulders. The only thing that doesn't matter if it's here, could be out here. You're still doing the same lift. Or you have your hands like this, and now you're a clamshell. You see, this doesn't move. This doesn't change. What's doing this is your lower abs and your upper abs together. Hands can be anywhere. It doesn't matter. Don't throw your chin forward. There's no reason for that. And don't throw your shoulders anywhere. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. And this is the action between the shoulders and the hips. And you can hold it. And that's very hard. This is a sit-up right here. Now you can also isolate. Holding down, and then again, this is nothing. This is not a sit-up. You can isolate and then just raise your hips like that and focus on the lower abs. And this pain tells you you're doing it right. The other thing you can do is keep that lower end down, and then you can add weight here. Anywhere, as long as you're not extending your neck or your shoulders, you're gonna feel this up in the upper abs. And that's a proper sit-up. Then the other variant that I think is important, mostly for looks, but also helps in tennis and other things where you're rotating, is to go this way. And this is not for the lower abs. This is just for the upper. Again, there's no reason for your neck or shoulders to do anything but relax. And this is also pretty painful, but gives you a more well-rounded set of muscles. And just to show what I'm talking about, I've been working on it and getting some decent results. I did not look like this 3 months ago. It's very easy to lose weight this way by working out hard, going light on food, and just focusing on, what shows your abs, where you can see my abs, is that I've been going light on food. The abs are there all the time. It's just they're covered up by even 2 pounds of fat will make it hard to see. What reveals the abs is the diet, right? Okay, so now I'm going to show another one of my decathlon exercises that I've been working on. Been working on this for 2 months. By the way, another good exercise for a lot of people, and I really can't do it, is this catcher's stance like this. This is very, very challenging for me. Oh yeah, I didn't show you my stretching. So I'm also working on, I want to have my heels comfortably on my butt. I've had an operation on each knee. So my left is more difficult. But when I started this, maybe back in October, I was probably here. And I've been working very hard on this, and I'm almost there. Almost touching. And that'll come down in the next month or so. And then this one here. And we did this as children, and we should do it as we get older, because this flexibility lets us do more to build the muscles of the legs as we continue to exercise. This is a very important platform for future growth. And I honestly, 6 months ago, I was probably here. And I've just really spent a lot of time on this. I'm not all the way. I'm not at 10-year-old level, but I'm getting there. And that's going to help also with your knees over toes, your sled pull and your sled push. This helps a lot. So this is a critical skill, I think, for everybody to build and maintain. And then the last one is hamstrings, which is very tight for me. But if you're going to work with a hamstring machine, a hamstring machine is like a curl machine, is like this,
Yeah.
right? Is you're going to have to work on the stretching. There's no way you're going to build your hamstrings without getting serious about stretching and putting real time and real effort into it, like the tennis players all do, to try to open this angle up. And so and you get more leg cramps when you're growing your hamstrings. It doesn't help to just do the exercises. You've got to do the stretching to keep your range of motion. Otherwise, you will tighten up. As the hamstrings get stronger, they want to get shorter. So all this is critically important. Okay? And I always, with stretching, you want to try to do 2 a day. 1 a day is just not enough to tell your body that it needs to stretch. 2 or 3 a day, or whenever you have time, whenever you can just squat, for 5 minutes. If you can, if you're in your office, if you're anywhere, if you can. You've got this one here, and then you got this here, just like this. Don't need any fancy equipment. This for a minute, several times a day is good, and then you can go to this. And all of this takes 4 or 5 minutes, 3 times a day would be ideal for most everybody. Now, I want to be able to stand up without my hands touching the ground. And the way Peter Attia talks about it, and a lot of people use, it's called the Barry Get Up exercise. And that looks like this. And I can't do it. That looks like I have to use my hands getting over center up onto the knee. And then you can stand up. And many people, and I don't know about you, but many people can just crisscross and stand up. Can you do that?
Don't know.
The answer is no. If you don't know,
Don't know.
trust me. Women are better at this, and skinny women are the best at this. But just being able to rock forward and stand up is another way that if I ever do it, it'll probably take me a year, because I'm just not flexible enough, and it's hard to get the momentum, and then I'm going to be on the edges of my feet, and it's all doable, but it's going to take a progression. And I'm not trying. What I am trying to do is this. And that's 2 months of hard work.
Okay.
I wasn't even close at the beginning. And I had to really figure out the mechanics, ditch bad habits, and focus, because it's not that hard to do at 90%, which looks like this. Looks like this. Okay, that's not difficult. It's the last 10%. And what I've learned is it's just about velocity and getting my heels in close. So now, and I'm using 3 pads for a reason. So I can do it with 2 pads, and I haven't yet done it with 1 pad. I should be able to get that in the next week or so. So that's where my 65-year-old body is. I hope that gives you some inspiration.
Absolutely.
For what you can do in half an hour at the gym. And then the other half you can use doing weights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And we'll do that another time. We'll do a super slow weight training version of this another time, in 2 weeks or so. Any questions?
No, I'd like to watch that again.
Okay, I'll stop the
Yeah.
recording. We can,
Yeah.
and then I'll put it on YouTube.